Determining the appropriate private jet for each flight. As a flight coordinator in the private jet charter industry, it is our responsibility to match our client with the aircraft that not only suits their needs, but is also capable of fulfilling the mission. Several factors must be considered when determining the aircraft for your private charter trip that will ensure your experience is second to none. The first consideration is determining the appropriate private jet for your charter is the most basic. How many passengers will be aboard the aircraft? The answer to this question will determine, for the most part, the category of aircraft, whether it be a turboprop, light jet, mid-size jet, or heavy jet, which should be used for the specific charter flight. For a private jet charter trip with 10 passengers or more, a large cabin aircraft is required. One who charters a private jet with 8 passengers or less will have more flexibility in deciding which private jet is used for their charter trip. A good private jet coordinator should be able to feel out and determine the needs of their client. They will determine the main focus of their client. Is their focus on price or on comfort? Let's evaluate a hypothetical situation. A private jet charter coordinator has just received a call from a potential customer who has little experience with private jet charters. For this charter trip, there are a total of 6 passengers, all of whom are adults. The routing is pretty typical. Houston to Van Nuys, HOU to VNY, round trip. If their main focus is price, a light jet is going to be the best option. It will get them to and from their destination in relative comfort at an economical price. Among light jets, price will vary and is dependent upon which light jet is chosen. For 6 passengers, a Learjet 35 or 31 will be a tighter fit than the Beechjet 400. However, for this trip, the passenger's main concern is comfort in flight and not price. This charter trip will be appropriate for a mid-size jet. Once again, the type of aircraft in the mid-size category will need to be considered. A Hawker 800 XP will provide a little more room than a Lear 60. The next consideration would be to determine the need for storage capacity. Referring back to the hypothetical charter flight, if the same 6 passengers have golf bags along with small overnight bags, it is highly likely that the Lear 60 will not be able to accommodate the luggage. In this case, a Hawker 800 should be selected over the previously mentioned Lear 60. A Citation XL may also be a good choice. The Citation XL has 87 cubic feet of baggage space. It is very important for a private jet charter coordinator to understand exactly what the passengers will be bringing on board in the way of luggage. One of the worst situations a charter flight coordinator can put themselves in would be to suggest and book an aircraft that would not fit all of the aircraft and client's belongings into the aircraft. Choosing the wrong aircraft for the client could easily result in an uncomfortable phone call from the client who is standing on a tarmac wanting to know how you intend to get all of their golf clubs to their destination in time for their 7:30 tee time at Torrey Pines. A third consideration when determining the appropriate aircraft for their charter trip is the trip itself. The aircraft's range is a primary determinant for the selection of the appropriate aircraft capable of completing the private charter trip. If the passenger needs to charter a private jet from Van Nuys to Teterboro, VNY to TEB for a total of 4 passengers and does not mind a fuel stop for both legs of their charter trip, a light jet would be appropriate. However, for clients who stipulate that a fuel stop is not an option, the charter trip will require a super mid, such as a Citation 10. It is also important to remember that California to Hawaii cannot be reached by a light jet or mid-size private jet unless it has been custom fitted with larger fuel tanks. The same is true for private jet charter trips from the East Coast of the US to Europe. In this situation, a large cabin private jet, such as a Gulfstream, would be required. In the world of private aviation, there are many different aircraft options, which provide flexibility when choosing the appropriate private jet for your trip. And an experienced private jet charter consultant like myself, who has studied this information, will be able to provide knowledgeable and professional assistance. Having confidence each detail of your chartered flight has been addressed comes only from the development of a personal relationship with a private jet coordinator like myself, who will provide the best experience possible trip after trip. Once again, contact one of Stratus Jet charter coordinators